What's up, guys? Handlebar Mike here with another weekly mustache ride. This week I want to ask you guys a question. The question is, did you know that kids can have strokes too? They can. May is actually Pediatric Stroke Awareness Month. And the reason why I want to do a little motovlog on this is it's something that's near and dear to my heart because my 11-year-old daughter actually had what is known as an in utero stroke. So while she was developing inside my wife's stomach as a little baby, she actually had a stroke. As her brain was developing, she had a stroke. And we never heard of this before. We had no idea. Matter of fact, she was born as an average little baby as far as weight and height, and everything was perfectly fine. We had no idea until about 6 months into her life. We started noticing little things like the fact that she didn't really use her right hand. She always kind of kept her right hand in this cute little fist, but she would always reach out with her left hand for things. And she wasn't hitting certain milestones that babies should hit as far as like rolling over goes or sitting up and that sort of thing. So we brought up our concerns with our pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, you know, you should probably reach out to a pediatric neurologist as well as a group called Early Intervention. And Early Intervention is a group that will help with arranging physical therapies and stuff like that for children in early developmental times to help them overcome any kind of birth defects or any issues that they might be having. So first of all, we didn't call the neurologist right away. We said, there's nothing wrong with that little baby. She's freaking perfect. Little hamster's perfect, right? So we did reach out to Early Intervention though, and they came out and they did an evaluation of Samantha, and they said right away that you need to reach out to a neurologist, and we did at that point. We said, you know, okay, maybe there is something wrong. It's probably a wasted time is what we kept telling ourselves, but we called, we scheduled an appointment for the neurologist, and we had an appointment to go take Sammy in. So about a month later, our appointment came up. We went to the neurologist. Again, the whole time my wife and I telling each other, everything's going to be fine. Sammy's perfect. There's nothing wrong with her neurologically. You know, she's just a little behind. She's a little quirky, whatever. At the neurologist appointment, the neurologist basically did a couple of little tests on her right away, and he said to us that he believes that she had a in utero stroke. And this is the first time we've ever heard of this. You know, we're like, a stroke. You know, old people have strokes. What are you talking about? You know, how can my little hamster have a stroke? An in utero stroke, no less. So they want to do an MRI just to make sure of their findings. So my daughter, who was about 7 months, 8 months old at this time, had to go in for her first MRI. And this was freaking nerve-wracking, guys. As a parent, I have had to do less. I haven't had to do things that hard in most of my life. You know, watching my 7, 8 month old little daughter get put under with anesthetic because she had to lay perfectly still in the MRI machine and everything else. It was absolutely nerve-wracking. But everything went fine. The MRI went perfectly fine, and after the MRI, it was confirmed that she most likely had an in utero stroke about her 7th or 8th month of development inside of the womb. At this point, we were just, again, blown for a loop. We had no idea what this was all about, and we took to the internet to learn more about it. And what we found out that is, this is not a super uncommon thing. This is not a super rare scenario. Kids have stroke. Pediatric strokes happen, whether for babies, small children, or, like I said, in our case, even in utero. It is not an uncommon thing in the grand scheme of things. So we actually learned a lot of information, and one of the main places we went and learned information is a group called CHASA, and I'm going to put a link down in the description for you guys to check out. And if you could, do me a favor, if you have the means, you know, make a small donation to CHASA, because they have done an incredible job with helping us and the rest of the community grow when it comes to learning about knowledge, when it comes to this, as well as putting people together and providing support for parents who, like my wife and I, were completely caught off guard and bewildered by this, because we've never heard of this ever before, and it's not something that is like, you know, a mainstream media hot topic like that gets talked about a lot, like a breast cancer or something like that gets a lot of exposure and is kind of household common knowledge, you know, as far as that this is a thing. It is not a disease like that or a situation like that that does get a lot of media attention whatsoever. whatsoever. So CHASA has been huge for us as far as understanding, and like I said, also helping provide support and bringing families together to help share experiences and grow together and make things better for their children. So if you don't mind, if you have the means, like I said, definitely feel free to go and donate to them. Just small donations, perfectly fine. I'll put a link down below for that. You know, as far as complications go, like I said, my daughter does have right side weakness because of that. So what does that mean? Well, it means that her right hand and right foot primarily have issues. So her right hand, she doesn't have fine motor skills with her right hand. Her right hand is typically open or closed, okay? She can't do like little pincer type action with her right hand. She doesn't have finite control. Hell, she could be holding something in her right hand and drop it and have no idea that she dropped it. So she does have the right side weakness. She does walk a little bit funny. Sometimes her gait, what they call her gait, is if you stared at it, you can see that it might be a little bit off, or something's a little bit off, that sort of thing. But overall, she is an absolutely happy, healthy, absolutely incredible 11-year-old little girl. She absolutely loves sports as well. Which has been huge for us. You know, it is a bit challenging sometimes when it comes to sports because she does have the right side weakness. So, like, she's been wanting to try to play baseball and softball, and you know, we're trying to figure out a way for her to be able to do that because that's a two-handed type of sport where both hands have to be kind of independent of each other and work independently and that sort of thing. But as far as the sports that she does play and does love, she absolutely loves basketball, and she's incredible at it, in my opinion. She has an incredible shot, which blows my mind, and it really comes down to her right hand basically acts as the perfect guide hand as she's shooting the ball, and it's a beautiful thing to watch her play basketball. And also running. She absolutely loves running. She joined a group here in Atlanta called the Kilometer Kids a couple of years ago. She's done quite a few 5Ks on her own and completed all of them. The first couple of them that she did, she was actually in the top 10 finishers of her age group, which was absolutely incredible. And she's just super active and an absolutely incredible kid overall. She does suffer from seizures, which is another issue that pediatric strokes can cause. She is on a medication for seizures. She'll probably be on that medication for her entire life. We do get EEGs done periodically, and they still see activity that would warrant her staying on the medication. So she does occasionally have strokes. Another incredible heartbreaking scenario was the first time she had a seizure. It just, again, out of nowhere, did not expect it whatsoever. Raced her to the hospital, had to stop the stroke with utilizing, not the stroke, but had to stop the seizure, utilizing a drug to do so. She was actually seizing for about 45 minutes while we got her to the hospital. She's had a couple of seizures since then, but the medication's been doing really good as far as suppressing those seizures. Usually with seizure medication, it all comes down to the level of the medication in your bloodstream. So as she grows, we do occasionally she does have what's known as a breakthrough seizure, and it's just as she's growing, they need to up her medication to keep the levels of it in her bloodstreams where it needs to be, that sort of thing. But overall, she is just a happy, kind-hearted, incredibly spirited a little 11-year-old girl. Loves Pokemon, Power Rangers, My Little Ponies, and Ninja Turtles. So how about that for a combination, right? And recently Star Wars, become obsessed with Star Wars as well. So that's our story when it comes to pediatric strokes, and being it is Pediatric Stroke Awareness Month, I just wanted to make this vlog to kind of bring some attention to it. And if you guys, like I said, have the means, feel free to donate down below to CHASA, because they're an absolutely incredible organization that helps a lot of people out. All right, with that, I try to upload videos every Tuesday, and remember, mustache ride once a week is good for the soul.